Hey guys, Mr. Real Review here for Thor. Sorry I'm late on this one, been super busy. I went into Thor thinking it was going to be one of the worst superhero movies to date just because of the, the god elements and of course the different world and stuff like that. And Marvel took a lot of chances in this movie. Obviously this is the most unrealistic comic book character they've brought to the big screen, so they took a very big risk in that. Also in the cast, Chris Hemsworth, a very unknown actor. He had a small part in Star Trek, and I'm pretty sure that's about all he had in his movie credentials. And Marvel just gave him, the lead role to Thor, which is a very popular comic book character, very popular superhero, and that's a lot to wait for a young actor. But Chris did a very good job. I think his acting performance was one of the best parts of the film. He plays the cocky Thor very well. I think he ranks very high in adapting superhero characters to the big screen. He did a very good job. Now, when I was watching the trailers to Thor, I got a little worried. The special effects, visual effects, they looked a little bit questionable. They looked a little bit too unrealistic, and I thought the movie was going to be a little bit too much CG. But I was actually wrong. The special effects, the visual effects, the CG, fantastic. I thought that the other world where Thor's from, I forget what it's called, but I thought it was going to be, completely fake, look totally bogus, it's all got to be CG'd. But I thought it looked very well. They made it as realistic as possible, and I really liked it. All the fighting scenes were very good in this movie. About a half hour into the movie, they have this kick-ass fight scene where Thor just takes on, like, a billion of these, like, frost zombies or whatever they're called. And I think that's the best part of the movie is that fight scene. And all the other fight scenes, very good as well. Something I thought was a little odd was the comedy. A lot of comedy in this movie. You've seen in the other superhero movies that Marvel, likes to include comedy and lighten the mood a little bit. But in this movie, more than the others, a lot of comedy. Sometimes it wasn't needed, and you're just kind of like, ugh, all right, whatever, let's move on. But some of it was actually kind of funny. What I did like is how they included the other movies. They, kind of like the Avengers is, coming out next summer. They joined all the superheroes together, kind of. They kind of did that. You kind of got the feeling that there was other stuff going on at the, same time. They kind of made a Hulk reference. They talked about a scientist trying out some kind of blood sample or something like that. I can't really remember, but they did make a Hulk reference. And then, of course, the clip that was at the end of Iron Man, I believe it was, where the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. guy, I forget his name, but, he picks up his phone and, he's like, in New Mexico, is like, oh, we found the hammer or whatever, blah. That clip was actually included into this movie, which I thought was very cool. I liked how they did that. So I liked how they kept the other movies in mind, and it actually flowed very well. I know in Iron Man 2 they made a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D. references, and then they had the Captain America shield was there, and it just didn't really flow anywhere. It just seemed like they were throwing in, other comic book references, other superhero references just because they could, just for fun. But this one actually flowed well. It actually seemed like all these superhero worlds were all together. To answer a lot of rumors that were going on around the internet, yes, there is a Hawkeye appearance. Jeremy Renner does make a cameo. He doesn't do much. He's kind of just sitting on a perch with his, bow, taking orders to kill Thor or not to kill Thor. So he's only, probably has less than a minute of complete screen time. But it is him. I know in one of the, they showed a clip. There was a clip running around the internet, and it showed him up there, but it didn't show Jeremy Renner's face, so they were wondering if Jeremy Renner was actually doing the filming, and yes, it is actually Jeremy Renner doing the filming. And that's kind of cool that, they bring in other superheroes like that. Maybe a little unnecessary because he didn't do anything at all, but, it's still kind of cool. I was really worried about the storyline, just because, he's from a different world and he's a god. And then you got the earth elements, and it's, like, how's that going to seem realistic at all? But they did a very good job. They did a pretty good job. I was pretty sold on it, and I was surprised at how well they did that. Besides the X-Men movies, of course, because there's so many characters in the X-Men, this is probably the biggest and best cast Marvel has ever put together. Of course, you got Natalie Portman, you know, Anthony Hawkins, they have big roles. And then Renee Russo plays his mom, you know, that's a smaller role, but still she's there. And then Idris Elba, who's a big actor, he plays the gatekeeper, he has a pretty big role in that. Just a very, very good cast of a lot of good actors come together to make it a really good casting performance. At the end of the movie, after the credits, you know, are all rolled, Marvel did its usual added clip just to spice things up, maybe bring a couple movies together. And Samuel L. Jackson came on as Nick Fury, and he was talking to the scientist of the movie. He brought him down in some kind of secret lab that no one knows about or something, and Samuel L. Jackson was talking about how they've been working on something and it's top secret, nobody knows about it, blah, blah, blah. And he opens up this suitcase or box or something, and it's got like an unlimited power source, and they finally found it, or something to that nature. It's totally confusing. The people that I went to the movie with who follow comic books and they follow the movies, you know, they thought it was kind of confusing. They didn't understand it. Nobody in the theater kind of knew what was going on. It confused me because I don't understand why they need an unlimited power source when, you know, Tony Stark, you know, Iron Man, he basically found an unlimited power source. So I didn't really understand the necessity of it. And when the Doctor's reflection came up through like a mirror or a glass window or something, his reflection was Loki, which is Thor's brother throughout the movie, who, spoiler, ends up dying at the end of the movie. But yeah, when he looked in that reflection, it was Loki. So people were confused as to did Loki transform into the scientist? Is he controlling the scientist? What the hell's going on there? Totally, totally confusing. I would have rather not seen that extra clip just because I didn't know what was happening, and therefore it's pointless. All in all, I think Marvel did a great job with Thor. Thor is one of the hardest, if not the hardest, superheroes to put onto the big screen. I think they did a great job. I'm going to go with 8 out of 10. Totally recommend this. Go see it.